WotC has more advertising dollars than Star City does, turns out. Can I put 8 Rector in the queue? Sure. I'll make a note. Does it have to explicitly be 8 Rector, or can I build just a Planeswalker Rector deck? Playing all 8 Rector seems bad. Let's start this league by making good decisions and mulliganing, and then make a bad decision by keeping this on the draw. God bless. It's not really a high-paying Magic event. Come on. Come on. There's no qualifiers, so it's not really a high-paying Magic event. How on God's green earth do you define a high-paying Magic event if it's not an event where you play Magic for lots of money? What is your definition? Please regale us. How do you define your definition of a high-paying Magic event has to include a qualification process? What's your strict definition that you're working with? That's what I would like to know. Yeah, there are a lot of Kibler's Hearthstone fans that are like, oh, Kibler's played Magic? By that definition, high-paying Magic events don't exist. The way Master Jareth's comment read to me was that they only don't think it's not a high-paying event. It's a high-paying event, but doesn't reward Magic players. Do you understand Magic events aren't held to reward Magic players? Magic events are held to advertise Magic the Gathering. They literally come out of Wizards of the Coast advertising budget. Wizards of the Coast is not a charity. They are not a not-for-profit organization. They are a for-profit company that has shareholders to answer to. I feel like there's an absurd amount of Magic players that think like everything Wizards of the Coast does is supposed to like benefit the existing players directly, and every time it doesn't, we need to throw a hissy fit. I agree that not everything that was implemented with the Silver Showcase was done well, but the idea of having a high-paying tournament that invites players from other games that are arguably bigger than Magic, especially in the online presence, is smart on Wizards of the Coast part. That's a smart thing to be doing. Does a beta draft make good sense to be doing that with? Probably not. But the base concept of let's invite some Hearthstone players, many of whom have a lot of past Magic success, to play on a big stage for us, that's an A+ idea. That is an A+ idea that Wizards of the Coast should continue to do. Look, if I put lipstick on a pig and tell you it's not a pig, it's still a pig. Mark Rosewater can tell you the Pro in Pro Tour stands for professional, but until the Pro Tour actually supports people playing the game professionally as their livelihood, it's not a professional tour, it's the promotional tour. Sorry to break all your little hearts out there. Sorry to break your little hearts out there. Don't talk about my it's funny because it's sad. Do you think it should be a professional tour? Would it be better to get paid and more prolific. I think if they wanted Magic to have a professional tour that supported players in a professional manner, it would need to be more exclusive with a smaller pool of pro players to pull from, basically. Ink, we're dying, chat. This game's probably going to be a good example of why cards like Remand and Mana Leak are kind of medium in Modern. Just like you need more cards that impact the board. Yeah, something closer to Super League with the paycheck would be ideal. Third land a little bit late, but at least it's untapped here. So I'm gonna block with the Snapcaster Mage because when they stub my Path to Exile, I really don't want to eat 5 more damage here. I mean, I don't think most of those people left Magic strictly because of the variants, Justin. I think a lot of those people left Magic because they saw it was easier to make money making content with other games, which is by and large true. It's very difficult to make a living making content with Magic. I am in a very lucky, very small subset of people. Well, my hand's kind of redundant, so this Snapcaster doesn't really matter. I mean, beta draft boggles my mind as an actual Magic player. Why does anybody want to watch that? That was terrible. I watched a portion of the Unlimited draft. Like, it was miserable to watch. Why are people interested in that? I don't get it. Different strokes for different folks, I guess. But I find all Limited boring to watch, so I guess, in a way, the beta draft wasn't any less interesting to me than watching a normal match of Limited. I'm gonna end-step this Spell Queller and start killing them. We might actually turn the corner on this game since they didn't have a way to stop that Path to Exile. I mean, games change though, Justin, especially with regards to standard formats. Like, just because a game is good or bad at a given point doesn't mean it's going to guaranteed be good or bad in the future. Like, as far as rotating formats go, there's a lot of change. That's actually the most exciting thing about this next Pro Tour. This next Pro Tour actually doesn't have any Limited involved in it. It's a team-constructed Pro Tour that's all constructed. It's standard Modern Legacy. I guess Remand is good against their Snapcaster Mages and their Delve threats, so I'll leave 3 of these in. By and large, I just want to, like, bring in a bunch of cards that, like, impact the board, though, here, I think. Yes, the Pro Tour for Core Set 19 is the Star City Games team constructed format. It's triple constructed. All right, let's do it. I'm going to keep this. You don't get better hands by mulliganing against the Thoughtseize deck. The fact that they'll know this Settle is coming kind of sucks, but the rest of the hand is very reasonable. There are definitely people that like watching Limited at the Pro Tour. There are 100% people that like watching Limited at the Pro Tour. You know what? There's people that like to smell a dog poop too. They're in the minority, but they like the smell of dog poop. So, just, take it for what you will. Young Pyromancer, Dr. P. Rizzle. That's very interesting. All right, so we need a Celestial Purge or a Path to Exile ASAP here. I guess I'm keeping a land, though. I think it's greedy to ship that. It's possible I'm supposed to, though. There's no way they won't feature Modern. Modern is, like, the most popular competitive format they have. Alright, so, like, real talk here, Affinity, for fun video quality. Like, it's always 1080. Like, you need like 4K? You only watch drafts if they're in 4K? Is that what you're saying? 4K drafts for life, man! There's no way they don't showcase a reasonable amount of legacy after shaking the format up. It feels like it would be absurd not to. I'm just gonna crack this so that way... Oh, I guess they have another Thought Scour in their hand, huh? I'm just gonna crack this. It's potential I should just hold the Remand up there. I mean, do you just, like, not watch draft content anywhere then? Because, like, you can't read the cards on Magic Online either. Unless your TV's huge. I guess if your TV's huge, you might be able to. I think we're dead, chat. They left TBR in. Okay. I guess Resto's pretty good here. Unfortunately, I can't afford to play and pop this Relic because I need to flash in Resto during combat here. Alright, so this telegraphs Lightning Bolt, I'm guessing. But I'm definitely putting in Resto on blocking. I can't afford not to, I don't think. Like, if they have a Bolt here, I guess they could have Fatal Push too. Because that triggers Revolt. Yep. Yeah, we're very dead. Unchecked Pyromancer on the play is very good. Honestly, I probably want to bring in more copies of Mana Leak on the play just to, like, have more answers to that. I'm gonna trim... Do I want to trim Blessed Alliance? I'm gonna cut these Aven Mindcensors. They don't seem particularly good. I think Mana Leak's really good if they have Young PZ. would love to play first. From the Never Mulligan Against Thoughtseize decks camp, we're going to click Keep. It is so absurd in my mind that they don't do time-shifted feature matches at the Pro Tour. Like, that alone made GP coverage so much more watchable. So, like, to not do the best thing Magic coverage can do at your largest events is so nuts to me. Hey, look, chat. They made my Snapcasters better. God bless you, opponent. Thought scouring me for whatever reason. Remand's a good one to pick up there, especially when they don't know about it. It's like if they like jam a Delph threat next turn, we get to get them. Well, Azentoth, do you think it's blue-white tempo or mono-green devotion? Which one do you think? I bet if you make an educated guess, you can arrive at the right conclusion. It's mono green splashing blue white, right? Gosh, what is in their hand? They actually have like fatal pushes and lightning bolts here. Opt is a fantastic draw for us. Mostly because it gives us a way to proactively deploy the Snapcaster Mage while still generating value from it, which is nice. Thank you for reminding me to update the stream title, by the way, though. That's done now. We might get to Resto Snap at some point, which would be sweet. I concur. Hand's pretty okay here. I assume we're going to see the Remand go away. It's a Delve threat. Should ban him for cyberbullying. Alright, get a couple of shots at a 2-mana counterspell here. That'll do, pig. That'll do. I think we're actually going to... I think I'm going to go ahead and resto the Snapcaster Mage. This is game 3 of the first match of this league. And we went 2-1 with, or sorry, 2-3 with the As Foretold deck. I got you, Zintoth. I'm a big fan of restoing Snapcaster. Oh, jeez, that's a good pickup. That's a, as a connoisseur of crappy flash decks, I'm a fan of this deck. I'm a big fan of crappy flash decks, chat. Yep, resolves. Wonder if there should be some clicks in this deck. Like we have... We have copies of Aven Mindcensor, which is probably just a little bit too cute. One O to start. We're waiting for the next match in this league. I'd just like to thank everyone for hanging out here. My name is Jeff Hogan. I'm a full-time streamer, memer, and content producer here on Twitch. If you're enjoying my stuff, please consider subscribing to my channel. My subscribers are the reason I'm able to stream here full-time like I do. You can also support my stuff by checking out some of my wonderful sponsors. MTGOtraders.com will love to buy and sell some Magic Online cards with you. And if you use code Hoagland PayPal and check with them, you'll save 8% on your singles orders there. Honey would love to save you some money. Honey is a free browser add-on that while you're shopping online, it checks your shopping cart and looks at things that you're buying anyways and searches online automatically for coupon codes for you to save you some money. If you install Honey using link bit.ly/HoogleHoney, you will be supporting my content here at no cost to yourself while you install that sweet browser add-on. Lisa would like to get you on your way to a better night's sleep. Christy and I have been sleeping with Lisa for the last 6 weeks now, and it's quite wonderful. It's our first time we've ever had a foam mattress. I don't think we'd ever go back to a pillow top bed. You can check out bit.ly/HoogleBedUS or bit.ly/HoogleBedCA to save $160 or more on your new mattress. And of course, we'd like to welcome everyone to Hooglandia. Please talk to your friendly neighborhood moderator about your complimentary timeout. This hand is great on the play. Yeah, I think I'd cut Mindcensor before Obstructionist. Can you explain why you don't like Geist unless... I just don't think Geist is a good Magic card in this deck. Or, I don't think Geist is a good Magic card in general. In my experience, Modern is a format that's so creature-based where so many decks are playing to the board that... So many decks are playing to the board in Modern that they're able to block a 2/2 very easily, which often makes Geist of St. Traft basically read 3-mana Boros Charm with Suspend 1. Like, it's a creature that, like, deals 4 points of damage one time and then it dies. And just, like, doesn't, like, that effect isn't worth the 3 mana that you're investing into it. In my experience, these tempo-style decks also tend to have a pretty good matchup against control decks, which is where Geist of St. Traft really shines. So I feel like Geist of St. Traft is pretty mediocre in a lot of matchups, and in the matchups where it's actually good, you don't need the help. I think I want to remand that so I can Spell Queller it on the way back down. It's a double ramp spell, which is pretty good. If you think I'm wrong, type me out. Listen, Anoronics, don't test me. They could have a Bolt here. I mean, like, Modern is a format where there's enough creature decks that by and large, like, 4 Path to Exiles is really not enough to keep the board clear in a lot of matches in my past experience. Yeah, I think especially with more quality 2-drops that Spirit has now, there's no Geist in this deck, so you don't need to replace Geist with anything. I think I'm going to play Mutavault out here. I can't Snapped Opt by playing Mutavault, but there's a pretty good chance they give me something to Remand next turn. A lot of them are pretty common questions that I have answers on hand for. Namen, love the stuff that you do. Keep doing it. Thank you for continuing to subscribe. Thanks for the 2 months and welcome back. I appreciate it. Thanks for keeping me employed here. Can you quell yourself over there? I think so while Spell Queller can counter Scapeshift in this matchup, it can't counter Primeval Titan, and I really just need to get pressure into play. So I think just like keeping them off tempo here with the Spell Queller while adding pressure to the board is ideal. We do have Snap Remand for a Titan next turn, which would be nice. And by that, I mean this Colony Heart Expedition is just going to kill us. That's true. We do have 2 main deck copies of Shadow of Doubt, and Aven Mindcensor is pretty good in this matchup, believe it or not. So if we find some of those, we could be on our way to a good place. But I guess we have these ops to dig a little bit aggressively here. Definitely bottoming anything that's not one of our high-impact cards we just talked about. Obstructionist means if they can double play Titan, we can end up being okay here. What do I think of Alpine Moon? I think Alpine Moon's great. I think Alpine Moon gives a lot of mid-range and control decks better legs against a deck like Valakut. If they give us something to Snap Remand, we're going to Snap Remand. If they don't give us something to Snap Remand, I'll probably end step the Obstructionist just to like continue applying pressure. If we watch on mobile and my PC, do you get 2 viewers? I believe so. So they have plenty of lands now. Which means if they have Scape Shift, they can Scape Shift twice, which is unfortunate. I didn't Obstructionist the Expedition because I don't think I really care about those 2 lands. We played it in a league last night, actually, Foxkilla. I haven't played it in a league with Nimble Obstructionist yet, though. I actually think this card could be really sweet in that deck. I had forgot it existed while I was working on it. I'm going to fetch a Hallowed Fountain tapped here before I Remand. Justin, you're a savage, just so you know. Alright, so what am I doing here? The question is, do I want to attack with this Mutavault? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to ship in for 4 here. So I think I want to hold up Nimble Obstructionist plus Snap Opt. Because if I Obstructionist the Titan trigger, I can then Snap Opt and find a path to Exile. So this is going to... This is going to happen. Maybe I'm supposed to opt first, Snap Opt first, because I could find another Remand, right? Yeah, I should probably Snap Opt first. Mana Leak wouldn't have mattered. We would have bottomed that. I definitely should have snap opted first. Because, like, if our next card's a Remand, I'm going to wish that I did that instead. We're looking for a path to exile at this point. It would have been another mana leak, so it wouldn't have mattered. Definitely not proper sequencing on my part, but we wouldn't have ended up gotten rewarded for good sequencing. This is a No Justice stream after all. That's a Restoration Angel. What does that do for me? Is that good enough to keep? So, if they attack with Titan, they get 2 Valakuts out of their deck, and then I die to any 2 mountains, so like land drop plus ramp spell kills me. With this Restoration Angel, I can attack with Mutavault, which means I put them to 4. Oh, that's true. I can resto snap. Yeah, this is actually fine. I'm gonna attack with everything here and put them to 6 and resto blink the snap that they block and opt again. Oh, we're 1 land short. God, we're 1 land short. No, we're dead to Scape Shift regardless, because the Titan would kill us. Let's see if this just starts shooting down my stuff or not. Probably gets Valakut plus a mountain here. Yep. We talked about that alcohol. I concluded I'd rather dig for a path to exile. I think I just double block this, right? Otherwise I'm dead to... Well, I guess if I single block, I take 2 and go to 9. I think single block is fine, right? Because this way, double blocking plays around Mountain plus Lightning Bolt. Whereas single blocking does not, because like what's the difference between 9 and 10 is the question I want to ask myself with this block. And the difference between 9 and 10 is that I'm dead to an extra Lightning Bolt. I think I'm just supposed to let this happen, though. I think I'm just supposed to be dead to Land Bolt, because I want 8 power in play to potentially be able to kill them next turn. Why would you waste my time? Why would you waste my time making me make decisions? Just kill me next time. I don't really mind losing matches, but like, don't slow roll me, please. Just like, let me die in peace. Yeah, I think that's all we've got here. Just 2 negates in and settle Path to Exile out seems fine. I guess you could maybe make an argument for Disenchant, but leaving some paths in this matchup with this build seems fine. Because, like, normally pathing Titan isn't good, but because of Aven Mindcensor, Nimble Obstructionist, and Shadow of Doubt, pathing the Titan could be okay, because I could stop their triggers from getting a what's it called? No, I don't think D-Sphere is very good. I think I'd much rather have Path to Exile. Not only do I get to snap back Path to Exile, but it's way more mana efficient. Now, I think trading 3 mana for those things is not efficient enough. Yep, this is fine. Like, not exciting, but fine. That last game was a great example of why Blessed Alliance is a really terrible card to bring in a matchup like this. They don't win by inches, they win by miles. So like when your opponent is killing you, it's not by exactly enough, so your gaining 4 isn't going to be good. When the opponent wins this game, they're like overkilling you by a very significant margin. Dig for a land here. That's not new, Pythrion. That's a thing people have been doing off and on Magic Online for a very long time if you look back at the archives. Land. God, this would just be the best here if we would have drawn a land. This is a sweet tempo card. Can I build a deck that's just got like 3 or 4 shadows and like 4 obstructionists, just like Stone Rain, Stifle Rains deck? Just mono stifles. Thankfully, against this deck explicitly, we're gonna have plenty of opportunities to shadow them. All right, well that's better than missing a land drop, I suppose. Moto currently using 2 gigabytes of RAM, so we'll give it a re-kick after this match. No, I don't think so. Like, Leonin Arbiter is a really terrible Magic card, and all those cards I just listed are like reasonable ones. They don't have another land. That's very good for us. I am super excited to Nimble Obstructionist this thing. Deal your move. Them drawing Valakut naturally, especially with Prismatic Omen, is very bad for us here. This will be a good example of why this matchup is really impossible for these kind of mid-range decks, because even though we have a lot of counterspells that are very good interaction in matchups like this, counterspells aren't good enough. They just draw Valakut and make land drops and kill our stuff. So, since they have Prismatic Omen and Colony Heart Expedition, maybe I do want to board in some Disenchants. It's almost thematic in a way that it's the Eldrazi that are the ones that flare up. Alright, we need to kill them ASAP here, so... We've got our Remands and our Shadow of Doubts. Our creature lands are actually pretty decent here. Like, Mindcensor is okay, but again, it's just like gonna die to this Valakut, the Molten Pinnacle, while they make their land drops. I'm gonna end step this Resto. Just like get as much pressure into play ASAP. You could maybe argue that I could save this for when they eventually start shooting my stuff down, but I definitely think I just want to attack for 5 this turn. Hopefully we draw an untapped land so we can attack for 7. I think I'm supposed to attack for 7 regardless here. Worth noting that if, like, this Mutavault was, like, a copy of Field of Ruin, I'd been able to kill this Valakut, so maybe it was better to have Field of Ruin than Mutavault. I don't know, I just felt like having the creatures to actually kill them felt fairly valuable. I don't know if I'm supposed to shadow them there or not. Probably because they have this Prismatic Omen. Deal. If they don't give me something to Remand or Shadow here, I'm going to end step Snapcaster Mage. Obviously, if they give me something meaningful to Remand or Shadow, I'm going to do that. But if they don't give me something to use my mana on, I'm going to end step the Snapcaster Mage and hopefully beat them to death. God bless your 4th point of toughness. I didn't just shadow that because I want them to recast it. If they're spending their next turn playing Scapeshift, that's good for us. So they have a ramp spell, or... So now, I think I shadow it this time, because shadowing this time means my opponent can't play any ramp spells after this either. Which means this is going to live. And I can mana leak a lightning bolt here, so they need double bolt to take this Restoration Angel off the table. No, you don't want to Mindcensor the Scapeshift, because if I Mindcensor that Scapeshift, I'm not going to be able to do much. I'm going to Remand this Weltering Suns, then untap and kill them. Yeah, there's way too many Mindcensors in this deck. For sure. Oglandian Peasant. Do I want Disenchants against them? Do they have enough things that I want Disenchant? I don't know that I do. You're censoring their minds. I feel like one Disenchant might go the distance. Yeah, I think Disenchant is loose. I agree with Bob's assessment. There should 200% be clicks in this deck. Shadow of Doubt and Obstructionist have been very hot, though. Seems more than good. It's great. And by that, I mean it's passable. No ambush, Viper, Handis, whatever, right? They either just auto-pass their turn or don't have another land. Either way, I smell blood in the water. I am about to mana leak the crap out of this Search for Tomorrow. I didn't say Mindcensor was bad in this matchup. I meant in the deck in general. It's probably worse than Vendilion Click. I think there's a non-zero chance they just auto-pass their turn. Double Queller is great here. You also get to flash in a Mindcensor in response to certain things. I feel like if they cast a ramp spell here, I'm actually going to Spell Queller it. Especially Explore. Because I'd rather they burn removal spells on Spell Queller before I get to my Mindcensor. So that way my Mindcensor is more likely to live. think I'm just gonna Mindcensor this thing they have next turn. They're already through one bolt. Sorry, Moto is crawling. We'll give it a re-kick here in a moment. I think I'm gonna Mindcensor this. Just enough to send Justin to third place for the week. Put this towards the lowest deck of his in the queue. Sounds good, Tino. Holy gosh. We just stone rained that with Aven Mindcensor. That's so good. Deal, you have Tireless Tracker. Is it greedy to path this? It might be greedy to path this, but I'm going to do it. Holy crap, this card has text. I can't remember the last time I cast this card and actually had a text box. Every time I cast this card, it's like 3 mana, 2/1 Flash Flyer, no other text. Just does stone nothing. Does stone nothing. I think I just let this happen, right? You're like not really doing anything. I'm just gonna like end step this Resto. It's very possible I should have Spell Quellered that. They finally draw a bolt. They did. That's unfortunate for us. Hopefully we draw an untapped land here. Snapcaster Mage. That doesn't really do much. I guess I'm just attacking for 3 here. I have Mana Leak for a Titan and I have Spell Queller for a smaller spell, so we have them under a pretty quick clock here. That's really scary. Really want to draw an untapped land here so I can attack with Mutavault. Ding. Now I get to attack with Mutavault while holding up Spell Queller and Mana Leak, which is nice. So they're down to 3. So you have to try not to die here. Is this deck good? Probably not. Maybe. Alright, so Dead Escape Shift. Oh, they have Escape Shift. It's always their last card. That's so frustrating. We're dead to Escape Shift because of this, chat. This is why we're dead to Escape Shift, chat. Their cards had to be untapped Landscape Shift to kill us here. That's what they had. So they get to crack this. I'm gonna run to the restroom. You can watch us die since you didn't figure it out. Ugh. Like, our Aven Mindcensor, like, double Stone Rained them this game. And we still came up short at the end. So, chat is discussing not firing up the Mutavault to leave them at 5. To play around exactly untapped land plus Scapeshift. The problem with that is we die to them just like making land drops. Oh yeah, they auto passed a turn too. Yeah, we die to them just like making land drops and killing all of our creatures, right? Like if I take the line you're suggesting to play around their stuff, they just like get to mow down my board with the stuff that they have, and then they're at a high enough health total that like the Mutavault doesn't kill them in a relative amount of time. So, like, we're kind of damned if we do, damned if we don't, either way. So I think killing them is probably the better play. And just, like, hoping they don't have untapped landscape shift as their last 2 cards. And that, again, exemplifies why these mid-range creature decks are so bad against Valakut, because even when you have disruption against them, the top of their deck is hot, and they can just mow down our creatures, so like we can't clock them. So if your deck doesn't have a linear turn 2 to 4 kill, you're gonna have a bad Titan Shift matchup, and that's just how it goes. I'm running an Ubuntu-based Linux distribution. That's true. Decks that have access to... And that's one of the reasons why Alpine Moon is so powerful in matchups like that, is because Alpine Moon is going to stop them from killing your creatures, which is very valuable. Very, very valuable. Is Valakut year-to-date arguably the highest impact card they've ever pulled off the ban list? I think it might be, right? No, Golgari Grave Troll is not... Golgari Grave Troll wasn't the reason why that deck was... I thought I had a Path to Exile. I guess we're going to look for one now. Prize Amalgam and Cathartic Union are the reason that deck was busted. Golgari Grave Troll was unbanned for a window of time where it didn't do anything, because it was fine. It was a fine unban. There are a lot more factors that go into that rather than just Golgari Grave Troll. A lot of Dredge's bad matchups have become better decks in the format, like Storm and Crackclan Ironworks and other faster combo decks. Grave Trolls are good because they allow Dredge to dredge 1 extra card. Yeah, it's literally because of Dredge 6. It's also, like, castable. You can, like, cast it and, like, have it be a threat when you draw it, but it's by and large good because it dredges 6. And, like, this will probably be a good example of a game where, like, our lack of lightning bolts in this deck are going to be a big deal. Like, they're going to get low, but I'll bet we're going to have a little bit of a hard time closing the game out. So do I Stifle Bird this Bloodbraid Elf? I don't think so. I think I just want to flash in a 3-3, a 3-1 and start attacking them. Just like hope this Bob's on our team, basically. Yeah, them attacking with Bob is a good play. They realize that they're the beatdown. Ooh, Path's a great draw. I wonder if I'm supposed to... It's possible I'm supposed to attack with this Faerie Conclave here. It's very possible I'm supposed to attack with this Faerie Conclave. Show me another Bloodbraid Elf, will you? Inquisition, gross. So if they Inquisition me, I'm going to Path this, and then Snapcaster Mage target Opt, make them take the Mindcensor. Do you think I want to path Mindcensor? I guess Path Mindcensor is pretty decent. Yeah, okay, I like that. Just like more evasive threats. Think we're dead, chat. Alrighty. Hopefully their hand is full of unplayables like that. We'll be on our way. Bobby! And again, like... If we just, like, had lightning bolts in our deck to draw to here. This is reminding me of why I started working on the blue-red Delver Fairies deck again, as opposed to the blue-black Fairies deck that we played a couple of times. Because, like, these games are just, like, so much more winnable when you have reach to draw to. Fairies, Dragons, Angels. These are cards that have higher dollar amounts because they're popular for casual play. Psionic Blast, need more char. If you considered playing more char in your life. Deal. They're edicting themselves. I like it. I like it. I would like to attack you. Play a lethal second Faerie Conclave. They also had smaller sample sizes though, Fedged, which is relevant. Like, while that data is great to have, you have to remember that sample size is important as well. So they need to kill me, or they need to have 2 removal spells here. They could Bloodbraid into Bolt here. Scavenging Ooze. Don't you do it. Stop it. Stop it right now. No. 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 Bad Bloodbraid. No. Yes. Yes. Alright, they could still have a Bolt in their hand, but they didn't hit it off the Bloodbraid at least. Man, that was a weird game. I was not expecting to be ahead there by the time we were done. Pretty confident this is a Mana Leak out matchup. Is this a Settle the Wreckage matchup? Like, cards that play to the board are good here, but Settle the Wreckage is awkward when your opponent knows it's coming, and, like, they're going to be looking at our hand a lot. I think this is not a Settle matchup. I think I like this configuration. Thoughts, opinions? What do we think here? The relics make Tarmogoyf worse. They also make their scavenging oozes worse. They make our Snapcasters, like, marginally worse, but I think they're better for us than they are for them, for sure. Yeah, Shadow could be Alliance. I don't mind that. It could, like, gain us health at a pinch. Yeah, I like that. Let's do that. Wet Ball's pretty terrible. Remember that Wet Ball's symmetrical, so, like, it impacts our Snapcaster Mages just like it impacts their Bloodbraid Elves. What a low variance game. We had 2 Faerie Conclaves in play that we could activate. I don't think so. I think, like, spending... Here's basically how you have to evaluate Damping Sphere. Is spending 2 mana and an entire card to make Bloodbraid Elf cost 5 mana a worthwhile use of a card slot? I don't think it is. I think that's actually a pretty bad use of a card slot, in fact. That's how you want to evaluate it. Basically, you want to ask yourself, is paying 2 mana for a Damping Sphere in a given matchup, is the effect that you're going to get for it going to be worth the card? And making explicitly their Bloodbraids cost 1 more mana is not worth the card. I play Legacy whenever Legacy decks make it to the top of my queue. Legacy is not a super popular format compared to Modern, so we play a little bit fewer and further between. I think I'm pretty obligated to path this. It feels super bad giving them an extra land here, but that card's going to go to town on us. I see what you're doing, Justin. I see what you're doing. I'm going to miss a land drop for 1 more turn before we just concede to game 3. I know after today there will still be Modern decks at the top of the queue, so we'll definitely be playing Modern tomorrow. What's going on, Anoronics? Oh, we got like half a league left. I think this is match 3, right? Yeah, this is game 3, match 3, so we got 2 more after this. We don't have Bob to win the game, right? Bob, you're on my team. I think if we hit a land there, we probably would have been pretty in this game. Too little, too late, I think. Maybe these mana leaks are better on the play. We played some Delver Fae last night on stream. You can find the archives on my YouTube channel. We'll definitely be playing it at some point in the next week. Probably need to decide on a deck for Indy by this weekend. The last blue-black mill list we played on stream was actually quite good. I think it was very reasonable. It was more control-based with a mill finish as opposed to an all-in, like, race to mill. I don't have a good answer to that. I'm just going to play the Snapcaster Mage and start attacking. I should do this at their end step, but whatever. Does anything say Hogland deck quite like need to draw a third land, draw your third Restoration Angel instead? Feel like there's really nothing more Hogland than that. We played Jeskai Stoneblade a bunch on stream before, Admiral. My deck's very good. It was good pre-Deathrite Shaman ban, and it's almost certainly good now. This deck actually has a pretty nice curve to it. Like, the curve here is pretty nice. I guess Snapcaster Mage technically belongs, like, here or here. I guess the curve is less nice when I do this. Oh, look, we came back to the game to discover we'd lost. Alright, we're gonna play till we're dead in this league, so either 2 more to run back to the 3-2, or if we die one more time, we'll call it a day. Yeah, thoughts so far are... I think the Mindcensors are a little bit mediocre. There should probably be some clicks in this deck. No, I don't think I'm gonna get to Devotion today. I like to be done about 4. I guess I could probably fit it in. No, I think I'm gonna be done after this one. Yeah, I don't know. Just like, again, the deck reminds me a lot of when we were playing blue-black fairies, in that it's just like playing these tempo-y style decks without Lightning Bolt is like a big ask. Obstructionist has actually felt pretty reasonable so far. I'm actually really excited to try that card in blue-red fairies. Yes, this definitely isn't the sweetest blue-white deck today. The queue will never be empty, no matter how hard I try. I've accepted that in my heart of hearts. I'm gonna remand this, just in case they don't have a second Tron piece already. They also might not have another green source. If you missed the part of the stream earlier where we played the blue-white Charbelcher deck, you should definitely watch that. It is super sweet. Map A. Map A. Yep. Like, if we lose this matchup too, you just like know the things that this deck is doing is too cute. Like, if we lose to Tron and Valakut with our Aven Mindcensor Shadow of Doubt main deck, like with Nimble Obstructionist too, it's just like, well, you really just can't beat these decks by being interactive. Because like, those are some of like the best pieces of interaction a mid-range deck could have in a matchup like this. Yeah, I think Obstructionist in general is okay. Yeah, probably Justin. I think we will do that. Did they misclick, or do they have their third Tron piece and they're just not playing it? Yeah, fetch before Shadow is solid advice. I think I'm gonna snap remand this. I could mana leak it, but I really just want to get pressure into play. Just like start poking them down. Probably play island here. So I can fire up this Conclave and still have Leak/Shadow up. I do feel like these two lands are underplayed in Modern, but it could just be like my bias and really liking them. Like, they're so efficient at what they do. Yep. I have Mutavaults in my mana base as opposed to something like Ghost Quarter because I want to be able to attack and pressure my opponent. Swords are really slow and clunky, and most of the matches where you want swords in Modern have access to things like Abrupt Decay and Kolaghan's Command, which makes the swords effect much, much worse. So I think swords are pretty terrible in general and not worth their slots any longer. Especially ones that are meant for grinding. Oh, that's unfortunate. Looking for a mine. Yep. I assume we're dead here. Like, not only are these matches with, like, a bunch of that, like, our card should line up well against, like, you know, Tron and Valakut, but, like, these opponents, like, made misclicks and moto mistakes, and we're still just getting dumpstered by them. Like, I can't mana leak anything here. I guess if they only have Wormcoil, I can path it, and then, like, maybe play a game. I mean, I have a 2-turn clock until they, like, Ulamog me. Take both my creature lands away. Alright, I get to path this and then flash in Resto. And, like, this is a 4-turn clock. There's no way the 48 card deck with Demonic Tutor is going to find a threat in the next 4 turns, right? You should read Restoration Angel if you think Activate Mutavault and Blink It is a line we can take. Nope, does not say non-land. That's not why. It's not why. Mutavault is many things. Many things includes Angelic. Look at our fair interactive deck. Tron. Oh, baby, I've got Damping Sphere. I read from very reasonable sources on Reddit that Damping Sphere was gonna put Tron out of business, so I'm excited. I'm excited. What are we supposed to cut here? I like a lot of these cards. Stoneforge would have won that game, right? Either of those sound fine, Anoronics. I'd probably favor more rips because I like permanent-based disruption. I think you want more permanent-based disruption for beating KCI. I also think that you probably want a Maca Clementi. Thank you for the 5-month resubscription. I also think you probably only need 3 Belchers on the main. Cut Resto seems unplayable. Stop it, Justin. I agree, Dumbledoreko. The cast triggers are a big part of what made Marvel so obnoxious as well. In my opinion. So, I think this hand is actually good, mostly because it has Ambush Viper. Like, this is a matchup where you need to kill your opponents ASAP. So, I'm planning to go tap land into Mutavault, Flash, and Snapcaster Mage, and just, oh, look at that. They just downgraded him to they forced him to be an Ambush Viper anyways. Tron beats Mono Red Prison. You ready for my two power beatdowns? You ready for my 2 power beatdowns? We're gonna give it to you. Tron would be much worse if Tower only made 2 mana. If you could never turn 3 Karn, the deck would probably be borderline unplayable. Fun fact, R&D explicitly priced Karn at 7 colorless mana because they wanted it to be castable off of the Tron lands. Hopefully this is a green spell that we can then Spell Queller. You want to use your Spell Quellers aggressively in this matchup because remember you can't Queller their big things, so you need to Queller their little things and pressure them. I hate everything about everything. Oh, geez, that's one we can get, chat. That's one we can get. That's one we can get. Quell him. We're gonna get him. Who's excited? I'm excited. Don't dismember me. No, stop it. This is what I get for getting excited, chat. This is what I get for getting excited. We tried. Are we dead? I feel like we're dead. Do we believe we're dead? All right, let's up. I'm gonna give my chance a path to exile here. If we find a path, we'll keep playing. Give myself 4 shots. All right. God bless you. God bless you, Moto Shuffler. All right, I'm going to go ahead and sign off for the day. Thanks, everyone, for watching the beating. We'll be back with more Modern tomorrow morning. Remember, I'm going to be starting a little bit later on Tuesday through Thursday this week. I'm going to be starting about 11 a.m. Central Standard Time. As for this deck explicitly, I think, again, just these kind of aggressive, like, mid-range aggro decks without Lightning Bolt, they just come up really short in Modern, and I don't know that splashing Bolt into this deck is worthwhile. What was your question, Average Bloom? Okay, still at work, but looking through some of the Legacy decks post-ban and very few Stoneblade decks play Sword. What do you think of Sword? I think Sword of Fire and Ice or Feast and Famine is fine, but I'm going to go ahead and send y'all over. I think I have someone lined up to host. Let's see if they're online. Which is a friendly reminder, if you are an aspiring Magic the Gathering streamer that exists out there, I'm going to be looking for people to host. So if you want to coordinate a host with me after I'm done one of these days, be sure to drop me a message. Everybody have a good evening.